Hey everyone, it's Anne-Marie from Hello Basque. Welcome back to the Hello Basque YouTube channel if you're a subscriber. If you're not, welcome full stop. And you should definitely join the Hello Basque YouTube family by subscribing below, because every week we're talking about the Basque country, Basque people, Basque culture, Basque language, whatever you want, anything to do with Basque stuff. Hello Basque is talking about it on YouTube. So thank you so much for being here. Today's video is all about the Basque language because I know this is something that you guys are fascinated with. So today I want to get into reasons that the Basque language is unique. So let's get into it. One of the reasons the Basque language is unique is because it's a pre-Indo-European language. What does that mean? Most of the languages in Europe are Indo-European, so Slavic, Germanic, Celtic, Romance languages, these are all Indo-European languages, meaning that they all came from an older ancestor language, so they're all related in some way. Now the Basque language, Euskara, is pre-Indo-European, so that means that it is older than this original language group. In a past video that you may have seen or will go on to watch after this one, I claim that the Basque language is about 12,000 years old. Others have since written to me saying it's actually more like 6,000 years old. So regardless, the Basque language is old. So it's unique in that it's pre-Indo-European. It's the only pre-Indo-European language in all of Western Europe. So that's pretty cool. Another reason the Basque language is unique is that it's a language isolate. So like I said, all these Indo-European languages are related to each other. Basque being pre-Indo-European, it's actually not related to the other Indo-European languages or any language as far as linguists can tell of this moment in 2019. The Basque country is technically in France and Spain, so French and Spanish are spoken in the Basque country, and so a lot of times people think that Basque must then be related to French or Spanish. It must be some sort of dialect of these more major languages, and it's not. It's a totally separate language that has nothing to do with French, Spanish, or any other Romance language, or as far as linguists can tell, any language in the world. So that's pretty unique. I don't know of too many other languages where literally linguists can't figure out what they're related to. I'm sure the Basque language at some point in time must have had other languages it was related to, but right now, modern day Basque language is the only one in its corner of Europe that seems to have survived. So Basque is a language isolate according to linguists, and that's pretty cool. Lastly, one of the big reasons that I think Basque Euskara is a unique language and really interesting because it's a minority language, meaning that within the Basque country, only a minority of people speak the Basque language. So as a language minority, I think it's really fascinating because it's on the rise. There are thousands of minority languages all over the world. Many of them are on the decline as more and more people use more majority languages, if you will. And unfortunately, a lot of those minority languages are going to get lost. And the Basque language was in that category just a few decades ago of being on the decline. I read a study that in the last 20 years, the number of people who speak the Basque language in the Basque country itself has actually increased by 6%. And so estimates are that it will continue to increase slowly and get us kind of out of this danger zone of losing the Basque language. There's a lot of reasons for that. I go into it a little bit more in depth in another video called What is the Basque Language? I'll link to that so you guys can check it out after this if you want. But basically, there's one part of the Basque country called Euskadi, which is the Basque Autonomous Community within Spain. That's 3 of the historic 7 Basque provinces. And there, because they have an official Basque government to set up educational programs and taxpayer money to fund those programs, there's actually been more and more Basque language immersion schools and also bilingual Basque Spanish schools, so that's been really helpful in getting younger people to learn the language. From what I've read, about a third of the population in the Basque country speaks Euskara, the Basque language, and all of these speakers would also be bilingual with either Spanish or French, kind of depending on which side of the French-Spanish border they're on. So 1/3 of the population speaking the language, that's not a lot, but it is on the increase, which is really special. And I attribute that to many people who speak Basque are actually very proud of the Basque language and try to use it as much as possible. But I have also read, unfortunately, that 1/4 of the people who actually speak Basque in the Basque country don't actually use the language regularly. And I totally, as a bilingual person, understand that because I'm bilingual French-English and I live my entire life in English. I speak French honestly, when I go to France, and otherwise maybe 3 times a year. I speak a little franglais, French-English hybrid with my family, but it's not proper. So I totally understand how that happens. I just find it unfortunate, especially with the Basque language, because there is such a conscious effort to increase the usage of Basque and to increase the number of Basque speakers that for a minority language to really improve, people do actually need to speak the language. Like if I don't speak French, like it's fine. There's, I don't know how many millions of people around the world who speak French who are going to pick up the slack. But since Basque speakers are such a small group, if the language is to continue to thrive, it's important for people to speak Basque. And so there's kind of this expression in the Basque country that I've heard that Basque, or in general, a language isn't lost because people aren't learning it. It's lost because the people who know it don't speak it. And there's a variety of personal and political reasons that people don't speak Basque as well as other languages or don't feel comfortable speaking Basque. And that's not for me to say or judge, and that's the topic of a different video entirely. But I just think Basque is super unique in that it's a minority language that has struggled to kind of catch its footing in the last few centuries, but it's now slowly on the rise, whereas a lot of other minority languages are not. So as a case, I know that some other minority languages in Europe kind of look to Basque and see how the language is being promoted in the Basque country to kind of see how they can maybe model that or improve their number of speakers as well. I guess I'm speaking pretty generally here, but I have read a few articles kind of comparing Basque with Irish and how the Basque country and Ireland have attempted to promote their minority languages and increase the number of people learning them and using them. I've read a few articles from Irish people actually promoting the Basque country as having a more successful model for doing that, which is crazy to think because like Ireland actually has like their own official state, whereas the Basque country doesn't. So I don't want to piss off any Irish people. It's just something I've read on the internet. So while many people who can speak Basque choose to use another language more frequently than they do use Basque, the really interesting thing about Basque is I read this study saying that in the Basque country, there's also nearly 20% of people who can understand the Basque language, but can't speak it or don't speak it, which to me means that there's potential. Like if you can understand the language, like you're halfway there. You just need time and practice and maybe a few lessons to like push you over the edge to becoming a speaker. But again, that's a very individual, personal choice for people to make. I just think it's really fascinating that as a minority language, there's some steady growth in the number of people speaking the language and that there's potential for even more growth in the future. So that's something interesting to me. If you're interested in learning more about the Basque language, Euskara, I have some resources for you linked in the description below. I did another video a few months ago called What is the Basque Language that kind of goes into what I just told you, but a little more about the history of the Basque language. So if you're curious, check that out. I also have linked in the description a blog post that I wrote about this study that I read about the Basque language in the Basque country. I have an infographic so you can learn more about how many people speak Basque and where they are pretty much in the Basque country. As far as I know, there's no official study of how many people speak the Basque language worldwide, but I can tell you if we're looking at the number of people who speak Basque worldwide, that number is going to be higher than what you're seeing in the Basque country, because I know personally people who speak Basque outside of the Basque country, my dad and all of his friends being those people. So while there's estimated about 750,000 to 1 million people in the Basque country who speak Basque, there's definitely more outside of the Basque country in the Basque diaspora, and even people learning Basque in universities in different places in the world who speak Basque fairly regularly. So that's pretty cool. Those are my big tips for you on the Basque language. If you guys want to get a discussion going in the comments, that is always welcome. I just ask that you be nice to each other. I know it's YouTube, but let's be friends and be nice to me. Thanks. I like it when you're nice to me. And as an aside, if you do think my t-shirt's kind of cute, this is an eguzki lore. This is kind of like a Basque sunflower. I have some Hello Basque merch in the Hello Basque store. You can check that out. I've got linked in the description below. We got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, phone cases, accessories, home decor. We got all sorts of Basque themed goods in there. So check that out if you want to show how Basque you are in real life. And we can be twins. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you liked what you saw in this video and you want to learn more about the Basque country and Basque people, please subscribe to the Hello Basque YouTube channel. I'm releasing new videos every Thursday like clockwork. And in the meantime, you can keep in touch with Hello Basque on social media at Hello Basque, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.